Right, good evening, guys. Sean here on the Shankly's Boot Room, back along with a live stream again. So I just want to catch up with you on a few things, what have been going on, of course, and everything like that. We should have had Jamie Phillips joining us tonight, but he can't now make it. So, um, uh, but we do have Uncle Rodz hopefully joining with us. Oh, in actual fact, he's here right now. So uh, that's brilliant, brilliant stuff. Right, with us right now. So the thing is, guys, what I'm asking for tonight is,
Yes,
do you think Newcastle get these strikers in that they need so that we can proceed with our own targets, which of course is isak. That's just all we're waiting for. That's all we want.
okay. I can't
Only
hear
thing we
nothing.
want in the world is to get isak
I
in
don't
and
seem to be able to hear anything.
in something else. Good evening, Uncle
Oh,
Rodz.
1 minute.
Okay, okay. That's been the actual issue there, really, isn't it? So that's what we're kind of looking at. So today, just to catch up on a bit of news, Samu from Porto has become an interested target of Newcastle.
Right,
The
cool.
thing that we're starting to see, though, is we're getting a lot of interested targets, but nothing actually progressing in terms of like they don't seem to be going much further. Nicholas Jackson is another one, of course, and Wisa, which we do think they will get over the line. But like I say, that's still even stumbling. Uncle Rodz, welcome along to the Shankly's Boot Room. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, I can hear you. Hear you fine. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I can hear you, man.
So,
Good to be
yeah.
here. It's good to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us. We were meant to have Jamie Phillips with us tonight, but unfortunately, he couldn't join us at last minute. So he's had to get on with some other. He's had to do something else. So we're going to link up with him another day
Okay.
because I thank Jamie so much because he's one of the reasons I started my own channel.
Cool.
He's the one who encouraged me the most. A lot of my subscribers I've got came from him. So I've got all the respect for Jamie. He's a really busy guy. He's on lots of channels, plus his own channel. So I fully get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's busy and
No,
that's it. So we'll link up with him another
Jamie's
time.
Jamie's sort
Uncle
the
Rodz,
sort
Uncle
the
Rodz, there's something I wanted to ask you, and that is about FSG really, because before we get into all the transfer stuff, because I've been thinking about this over the last few days, and I was one of the very hardest critics of FSG. But with time and with what's been going on, and when you sort of calculate everything that's been happening with the club and with regards to what they've been doing, now we know they've done certain things which are wrong, like trying to label the club and stuff, and all this kind of thing, going into a different league, going into the multi-European league and being a part of that. So we all know those things are wrong. But taking the sell to buy model, taking the new training facilities, increasing the size of the stadium, basically, in other words, helping us to really grow as a club. And now culminating with this particular window where we've gone crazy, let's be honest, signing players we never thought we'd sign. And we've been splashing the money like we were really something. So has that been the plan, do you think, all along with FSG? Have we had them wrong, do you think?
I want to think so. I want to think so. I
No.
definitely want to think that. Listen, that was a plan because all the sleepless nights of not getting any sort of like targets through the door, the Bellingham, the Carcedo, Tushimene, you know what I mean? The list goes on. All those times that we didn't get what we want, and now we finally get what we want. I would like to think at the end it was it was all a master plan. Do you know what I mean? It was all a master plan. I have been to Anfield, had a pleasure going to Anfield after a long period of time, and I watched the
Mm.
Liverpool versus Lille. I watched that game, and listen, the stadium was like amazing. I was like right up, do you know, right up top, and it's just like looking down at a cauldron. Do you know what I mean? Like a gladiator thing. Do you know what I mean? It's so it's amazing what they works that they have done. But listen, at the end of the day, I am thankful they're finally doing what's right for the club, by the club. Do you know what I mean? And I would want to think that it was all part of a master plan. Do you know what I mean? They were right, excuse me, and we was wrong. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to think that because I don't want to think anything else because we had lots of sleeps tonight. Because I wasn't like FSG's biggest fan. Trust me, I did many a stream saying, FSG, get your act together, this and that. Do you know what I mean? You know the usual stuff. Do you know what I mean? But like, listen, I can't fault for this transfer window because they've identified targets, gone out and got them. Do you know what I mean? I still think we get Isak. I know, obviously, Isak, the situation is dragging on a bit, and obviously we'll talk about that a bit later on. But like, I still think we get him. I still think we get a winger, and I still think we get a defender. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, at the end of the day, if we get Isak and a winger, like a good winger, like I don't know, like a Fofana or a Rodrigo, you know what I mean? I do not think we get Bacola. I don't think we're good. I don't think that's in the plans because to me, Bacola's not ready yet. He's not ready to leave to go to any club. Do you know what I mean? Much less than go to Liverpool. He's not ready yet. In the next season or two, yeah, maybe he could be ready for a move, but right now he's not ready. So like, if we get something like a Fofana and we get something like or Rodrigo, do you know what I mean? But we don't get a defender, I will still say that's a good window. Do you know what I mean? Because the attacking options is just ridiculous, isn't it? It's going to be ridiculous. You know what I mean? If we let in one, we're going to score three, isn't we? Do you know what I mean? One of them ones.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So but I'm happy with it.
But I heard Arnie Slots. I heard Arnie Slots in press conference today, and he was mentioning something about. I mean, I don't think he meant it, but he was talking about, we've got Endo, we've got so and so, we've got all these at the club that can still fill into that role, which there's a certain amount of truth about, of course. But I still think we will get a defender. I think he will want that slot, and the club, the team obviously will want that. But so I still think we'll get a defender in. It's getting a bit close to it all, obviously, as we know. But I still think we will. But speaking of Arnie Slot, because I've not spoken to you one-to-one kind of thing, even since he came in. So, I mean, since he's come in, we all know the incredible job he's done. Quite amazing job he's done, really. None of us would have expected that. None of us would have expected he'd win the league in his first year, let alone anything else. And to have done it the way we done it was just incredible. But there's something that he said that made me think, because you see, like this channel, I base it on Shankly, yeah, because he was our main guy. He's the one who really launched the club in the beginning, and he was always looking up. Shankly was. He was always, when people used to come to the club, he would be saying to them, you're at the best club in the world now, and you're coming to Liverpool. This is who we are, and he'd take them all around the stadium and all the rest of it. And he'd tell the board, I want trophy cabinets all around this room, and I'll fill them. You put them in there, I'll fill them. That was his confidence. And I see a very similar confidence in Slot, because last season when he come into the club, he said we ended third, and he said, and I think we can do better than that. Now, he hadn't bought any players in. It was Klopp's team essentially when he took over, obviously, and then we ended up not bringing anyone in bar Chiesa. But that's what he actually did. He took them above and won the league. And I think there's something to do with that confidence, and probably the many chats he's had with Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards over the whole year, really, probably behind the scenes, that this ambition he's showing now was really blueprinted into what the conversations he had last year, if you like. I want these players. I want to take this club up to be the best. Yeah. In other words, he doesn't want us to be the underdog anymore. He wants us to be the ones that are setting the standards. He's got that kind of high. He's got that high prospect of the club. Do you agree with that?
See what it was. I'll let you into the secret. Yeah, I wasn't Slot's biggest fan. I wasn't Slot's biggest fan.
Even myself, really.
Yeah, I said it on many streams. I wanted Amron. I wanted Amron still because I thought that Amron would have been better for our club. Do you know what I mean? To take well, because like, listen, Slot was relatively unknown, an unknown coach. Do you know what I mean? He won a league with Feyenoord. Was it fine? Yeah, he won a league with Feyenoord and that. But when you look at the sort of like the I don't know, when you look at a Dutch league, it doesn't grab you, does it? It doesn't really grab you. Do you know what I mean? It's like on a scale of leagues around Europe, you probably say that it comes close to the bottom. Do you know what I mean? You know, so I wasn't really impressed with that. Do you know what I mean? You know, I was kind of fuming that FSG got this guy because I thought that FSG, they're doing it again. They're pulling a stroke again over us. And now I'm looking for the cheap way out and this and that. Anyway, because I literally love Klopp. Do you know what I mean? I still do. I still do. Because I still think
Mm.
is that Klopp set the blueprint of what Slot should follow. Do you know what I mean? Because Slot, um, other than sort of like having conversations with Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, he was still in contact with Slot. He was still having conversations with Slot on how to sort of like do things with the team. Do you know what I mean? So, Klopp, sorry, had a major influence in sort of like in what Slot was doing. Do you know what I mean? He admitted it himself because me and Klopp still talk. At the end of the season, he said me and Klopp still talk. We talk,
Mm.
by WhatsApp. Do you know what I mean? So you can tell that there was still conversations at the day, so like of certain things that he was unsure about, certain players that he was unsure about in a team that he will speak to sort of like Klopp, and Klopp will say, "Look, do it this way." Do you know what I mean? And stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because we all know what Klopp's like. Klopp is a selfless human being. He's selfless. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, he just wants the best for the club. He said, Klopp said this, yeah. It's not about what they think about you when you come in. It's about what they think about you when you leave, when you're gone. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And like everybody's got high words to say about Klopp, but Slot and Day, he's taken bits and Day from probably Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, and Klopp, and he said, right, this is how I'm going to do it. Do you know what I mean? This is how I'm going to do it. And I had to take my hat off to him. I had to apologize because he done it. I said it, and I did say after a while, I said, look, if he wins something major this season, and I will give it to him. I said, look, you know what? I was wrong, but I just don't think he's that guy. And I admit that I was wrong. He done it. Do you know what I mean? The way was able to get the best out of that team was amazing. It was amazing, and I do like his honesty as well, because he said it. And he did say, he goes, we probably could have won more if I rotated more. Do you know what I mean? I rotated the team more and stuff because that's my bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
What is what is
the job
actually
he's done is
very
amazing.
interesting. What is actually very, very interesting is that, to go back into the history again for a minute, is when Bill Shankly retired, when he left and Bob Paisley took over, we're sort of actually seeing a very, very similar
Mm-hmm.
theme from because when Bill Shankly left, everyone was devastated, like we were when Klopp left.
Yeah.
Bob Paisley didn't really want the job. He openly admitted that, but when he got it, he embraced it and he really took the team on where the foundations were laid by Shankly. He then took those foundations and built the house on it, And I
Yes.
think that's what we're starting to see with Arnie Slot.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly, 100%. Because what it was, Bill, Bob Paisley came in and sort of like bettered what Bill Shankly done. Do you know what I mean? By
Yeah.
winning, like put it this way, in his 9 year tender, he won 18 trophies. Do you know what I mean? In 9 years, that's nothing to be laughed about. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Back to back European Cups and all sorts. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what he done is like Bob Paisley came in and took it to another level. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we should want for our club. If we get enough, if Slot goes, you know what I mean? or when Slot goes, right? Because there's going to come a time at the day he'll probably go. Do you know what I mean, right? We need somebody at the day that's going to take us to a further level. Do you know what I'm saying? And we have to keep on going. Like that's what sort of like Bill Shankly built. He said, "Look, you know what I mean. I'm going to take you to take the club to this level, yeah. But the next person that comes in is going to take it to another level, and it goes on and it goes on and it goes on and on. And before you know it, then right, we've got like world dominance. We got world dominance, and let's face it, when Bob Paisley was in charge, we had world dominance because nobody wanted to play us in Europe. People are afraid of us in Europe. Now you got to think about it. If Europe is the mecca of football, that becomes the world, doesn't it? It becomes the world because all the best players in the world play in Europe. Yeah. So you might say if you're the best in Europe, you're the best in the world. Do you understand what I'm getting at? And nobody wants to play us. Real Madrid didn't want to play us. Barcelona didn't want to play us. Inter Milan, all those top teams at that time did not want to play us because they knew at the day they would have been in for hiding. Do you know what I mean? I always go back to this game in 1978, right? When sort of like we played Tottenham. We played Tottenham in 1978 at Anfield, yeah. And I think we beat them about 7-0 or something like that. Something silly about 7-0, right? But the football that we was playing, yeah, at that time, right? It was like they're just playing it now. 20 years later, 20 or so years later, Arsenal was playing that sort of football. One touch, pass, move, get into space, receive the ball, do something with it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Arsenal was playing that kind of football 20 years later from that, after that. And to think at the day that we was playing that football in the late 70s, and they only caught on in the sort of like, in the early 2000s and stuff. Come on now, man. See, we was way ahead of our time. And that's what it was with us. Do you know what I mean? I always thought at the day, right, our blip that we had when Man United was obviously doing their thing and stuff, I think that was more down to us. Do you know what I mean? Because we were so ahead of our time. There was just nothing else to do. Nothing else to do. Do you know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. They say the great Alex Ferguson, right? He took all the ideas from us in the early days of what we used to do in the early days. He took that from us. When we had our dominance in the 70s and 80s, right? They took all that from us. Do you know what I mean? So listen, it's good times. It's really good times, but you need somebody. You need someone to build, as you said, you need someone to sort of build a foundation, and then you further that. You go on and further that, and you do your best and bring success to the club. And I see Slot doing that. Do you know what I mean? Slot's doing it.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move on to the big burning question on everyone's lips about Isak and everything. But just before I mention it, I've been thinking a little bit again in some of the pre-season friendlies we've had, and I've been looking, and I've been watching things, and I've been looking how the front's moving and everything like that. Have you noticed how much space Salah's getting?
Mate, have I noticed? Mate, I was at the edge of my seat, mate. You see that
because you see,
yeah,
this is all part of it. Because right, this is what the Slot wants. He wants if someone is on Salah or a couple of players are on Salah, Wirtz is free. Yes. If Wirtz has got players around him, Salah's free. Gakpo coming in from the left or whoever's on the wing. Ekitike. If we can put Isak right into the center of all of this, I'm telling you, I don't even know what's going to happen this season. As a Liverpool fan, as a football fan, I've got no idea just what's going to happen this season, because let's get it right, that is going to be cold. You see that, and I'm not having a go at Gakpo here because I think he's a brilliant finisher, but that shot that Gakpo missed off that incredible pass from Salah the other day.
Oh yeah.
If that was in front of Isak, he'd have slotted that through that keeper's legs.
Oh
his legs were a bit, you know what I mean? Or he'd have at least got it on target, or he'd at least scored it. He would have scored that goal. You see what I mean? So we're going to score an incredible. If we get the, and this is why, Uncle, the league and the press and the media don't want us to get Isak because they know it's done.
Of course. And this, listen, and another break in here. You might know already, but let's say breaking news: Thiago Alcantara has come back to club as a coach in the coaching staff. Thiago Alcantara is going to be part of the coaching staff at Liverpool. How good is that? How good is that? Do you know what I mean? How good is that? Listen, how good is that? Do you know what I mean? Not only have we got Giovanni Van Bronckhorst as a number 2, we have got Thiago Alcantara, the midfield maestro, as part of the coaching system. Listen, but listen, what it is with that situation, like, you know, it's all about at the end of the day creating space, because what it is, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst at the end of the day, he came from Barcelona, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To Barcelona, and they kind of like pride themselves on that, making space so somebody else can go in that space and do what they need to do. Do you know what I mean? Drag a defender's way. They pride themselves in all that. So when I saw Salah the other day, Salah's movement the other night when he played against Athletic Bilbao, right? Yeah, or Athletic Club. His movement was amazing. His passing was amazing. If he does those sort of passes for Alexander Isak, it's curtains. It's all over. You know, imagine that day, you rocking up at the day, your Leeds at the day, just got back in the Premiership, right? And you rock up at Anfield and you see Alexander Isak, Ekitike, Salah, Wirtz. Do you know what I mean? And you might see Rodrigo as well. Come on now, man. You're going to say, I'm not having any of this, man. I'm going home, mate.
And then when all the legs are getting tired, like in around about, I don't know, 65, 70 minutes, young Rio's coming on.
Off, mate. Stop.
In some games, anyway.
Stop. And you plus as well, you got that other young lad, Trainione. You got him as well.
Oh, he's great.
He looks good.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what? Isn't that must be a dream come true, right? 6 or 7 years old, he's gone to Anfield with his dad to watch his beloved Liverpool, only to be 10 years later to play at Anfield. Come on, man! Seriously, isn't that stuff?
And that not only he's got everything. He's the most important thing I think with him. It's not just his ability, but it's his brain. Here, he's a football-minded boy. You know what I mean? And he knows where he's got to be. He knows what he's got. If you put him in a certain role, he steps up and says, "Right, I know what I've got to do here," and he does it. You know, which is a rare thing, especially for a young player like that.
Yeah, especially at his age. At his age as well. What is he? 17? I don't think he's 18 yet, is he?
No, I don't. I think he's 17. Yeah, I think he's 17.
For them to have so much confidence in him. Do you know what I mean? It's amazing. And now what's going to happen? And he's going to be coached by the best now. He's going to be coached by the likes of Van Bronckhorst and Thiago Alcantara. What more can you want? You can't want any more than that.
No, that's amazing. No, that's really amazing.
Do you know what I'm saying? And,
you know,
the way that we're playing now, it's like how fast we turned defense into attack the other night was just unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? We were just like, poof, out the traps. You know, like when you go to dog racing, and you got that rabbit that comes out. We was like that. We just fast out the traps, mate. Do you know what I mean? And they couldn't catch us. Yeah.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so what I was going to lead on to then with the isak side of thing, well, what I was mentioning there is, how do you think this is going to actually play out now with isak? You think it's going to wait until they get these strikers in? Do you think we'll end up just getting a bit fed up with all of this and put a bid in anyway? Because we all know he's going to come. We all know he's not even going to the barbecues anymore now, so he's really off the list. So is this a case of we just have to be patient and wait till they get these strikers in? Well, there's obviously getting some links now. I see today they're linked with that. Is it Samu at Porto?
Oh yeah, they've been linked with him.
21-year-old. Looks quite a promising player, but again, you wouldn't have him down as your main starter. I wouldn't have thought anyway. And then obviously Wisa, they've got that interest there, and of course Jackson has been linked a bit. That hasn't been killed off completely, although I think there's one or two other clubs interested. So how do you think this plays out, Uncle? Do you reckon it's going to be a case of we wait, or do you think, because a lot of people are beginning to feel like there's going to be a bid soon?
Listen, what needs to happen is Newcastle need to kick up the caber, as it were. Do you know what I mean, right? And get that together. Because when you look at the way that Newcastle's doing business, there's no incentive for them to go out and get a striker. Because they're probably thinking that they will, worst case scenario, we keep Isak for another 12 months and then sort it out. Then they might be thinking that. So that's why I'm thinking Liverpool need to sort of like take the gloves off now. You know what I'm saying? Take the gloves off and just go and say, look, he wants us, we want him. Here's 130 million, yeah, right, and 15 million adults. You know what I mean? Hold that. Do you know what I mean? Just take it and let's get our player, get it over the line. And let's start talking about the fact that we haven't got a player yet. Because well, that's your problem. You know what I mean? Because remember, if a lot of people got to remember is Alexander Isak has told Newcastle his intentions from last season. From the beginning of last season, he's told them that day, because I'm not, this is my last season with you. You know what I mean? After this season, I want to explore different things. You know what I mean? And he always had Liverpool in mind. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not as if they didn't know this was going to happen. You know what I mean? Now, my argument as well, right? What's stopping them? Yeah, going to Aston Villa, slapping 50 million on Aston Villa, and saying, "Give us Jacob Ramsey." Do you know what I mean? What's there to stop them saying that? Giving Villa 50 million to get like Morgan Rogers. You know what I mean? These are players, yeah, that played in the Premiership for a couple of seasons, yeah, right? Premiership proven, and you'll get them for 50, 60 million at most. You know what I'm saying? You could even say at the end of the day, right, when you get this money from Liverpool, you can say, right, here's 120 million, give us Jacob Ramsey, and give us sort of like Morgan Rogers. You got two informed strikers there that know the Premiership, right? You won't have to sort of like you won't have to teach them much about the Premiership. You understand what I'm saying? You won't have to teach them about the physicality about the Premiership. You won't have to teach them about the pace of the Premiership because they know it already. Do you understand what I'm saying? But what seems to me, when I look at Newcastle, right, they've got no incentive at the end of the day, right, to go and get a striker. Because if they're really serious about going and getting a striker, Sesko would have been at their club. There's no way that Sesko goes to Man United. Man United, listen, I know what Man United's done in the past and stuff. Fair dues, yeah? But look, Man United finished 15th place, yeah, last season. They've got no Europe at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? Newcastle have got Europe. Do you know what I mean? You can help them get further than what they did last time they was in the Champions League. But you chose to go to Man United. Doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. You go to Man United, 15 players, and got no bloody Champions League, and there's no guarantees at the day. Even if they get the players that they want, like they're supposed to be after Carlos Paliba. They're supposed to be after him from Brighton and stuff. Yeah, But personally, Brighton's saying that they want 90 to 100 million. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're asking for Carlos Believer, and I don't blame them. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the moment, you got Cunha, and you got like what's it, Burma. Do you know what I mean? And looks like you're getting Sesko now. That's still no guarantee that you're going to get Champions League football next season. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's still not guaranteed because who did all right? Cunha played for Wolves, mid-table. It was a mid-table team. Yeah, do you know what I mean? They only got relegated at one time. Yeah, and Burma played for a mid-table team in Brentford. We all like Thomas. We all love Thomas Franks. Yeah, we all love him, but he was at a mid-table club. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you all and RB Leipzig didn't even get Europe this season. I think they got Europa Cup, didn't they? Europa Cup or something like that, innit? Something that they got, but they're not in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? So you honestly think at the end of the day that these players at the end of the day are going to miraculously get you sort of like Champions League football? Do you know what I mean? When Sesko only scored 13 goals last season. Do you know what I mean? Whole comps. Come on now, man. Seriously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen.
So do you think in your opinion then that we'll be putting a bid in sort of beginning part of next week or something like that? Or
I reckon probably next week. Next week, or they might not even wait till next week. You know what I mean, right? Because personally, they wanted Isak for this for the Charity Shield. They wanted him for that. You know what I mean? You know? Personally, I think we can beat Newcastle without sort of like Isak. You know what I mean? Personally, but that's what they want him for. I think Liverpool at the end of the day are going to get sort of like they're going to get frustrated with the way that Newcastle's going on, and they're just going to put in a bid, and they may put in a bid that they're giving them what they want, like 150 million. They may do that because the thing is, what people don't understand with this 150 million, this is a lot of money, but you can make that back in shirt sales. You'll make that back in shirt sales and all them sort of stuff. You'll make that money back. When the Swedish guy, what's that Swedish striker that went to Man United? The Swedish striker went to Man United. Always forget his name. But anyway, so this Swedish striker, we all know him. His name will come to me a bit later. But like when he went to Man United, he went for 75 million, and you know, at his age, people were saying that Man United was crazy for bringing this guy in. You know, what I mean, he's past it, and he paid 75 million for him. You know what? They made that money back, in 3 days. 3 days, Man United made that money back on shirt sales. 3 days. So you're making that money back. So 150 million at the day, right? To me, at the day, is an investment, to be honest. But I just want it done because like a lot of the fan base at the day, including myself, are getting frustrated because like keep on hearing it's closer, it's closer. This is happening, that's happening, and all now, Isak's not at the club. Do you know what I mean? So, and we're in August now. August 9th. 8th.
It's getting closer.
And you know, and like the Charity Shield's on Sunday, which is the time. So time's ticking on. Time's ticking on, and we need to get this across the line.
Yeah, that's a razor, of course, for the thing. So let's move on to our defenders then, because obviously that's something we are all worried about with what's going on there, because we don't seem to have. We're getting linked with players, of course, one or two players now. But do you think that we actually hold out for Gay? Do you think we put a bid in for Gay? Because there's a little bit of interest from Chelsea, although it's cooled off a little bit today, I noticed. But do you think we just kind of should we just stump up the money now?
I think what they would do, what Liverpool would do, is like when they get like they ship off a few more players because Darwin Núñez, we all know he's gone to Saudi, and we got about 60 million for him, didn't we, in the end? And he's on some good wages in Saudi, you know. Man's about 400 grand a week, tax free.
He's gonna eat very well.
I'm telling you. But like, you know, it's like we got rid of. He's gone. Luis Diaz is off to wage books, and let's talk about Elliot going to Tottenham. I'm talking about him going to Tottenham. Madders is out for a whole season,
Yeah.
isn't he? He's out for a whole season. You know what I mean? And I don't wish an injury on any player. Do you know what I mean? Especially someone like Madison, because I think he's a good player. He's just sort of like being unlucky with injuries. Do you know what I mean? I wanted him at Liverpool. I thought, do you know what I mean? At one time, I said, yeah, he should come to Liverpool because I rate him very highly. So you get in, you get in sort of like those players off the wage bill, and obviously young Tyler Morton, he's gone, isn't he? He's gone to Leon. Do you know what I mean? We got 20% sell-on clause in him. We got 20% sell-on clause in him. So I think when you get those players off the sort of like books, you can start looking at the day of like bringing in players now. Do you know what I mean? And I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to get this Isak deal like done. You know what I mean? Trying to get this Isak deal done and sort of like out of the way, and then you'll see the wingers coming.
Big up N90.
Yeah, good chappy. He's a good laddie. He's one of my boys, man. Big up.
Yeah.
So when you get Isak done, you start seeing like your winger come in, your defender come in. I still think we get Gay because he's the right profile player for Arne Slot, because Arne Slot likes ball carrying players. Do you know what I mean? Like ball carrying players. Look at his DM. He likes the way that sort of like Gravenberch plays because he's a ball carrying DM. You know what I mean? He doesn't like a person that just sits there. He wants something to do something with the ball. You know what I mean? So, and to me, and when I look at sort of like Gay, he fits the profile of Arne Slot. You know what I mean? He does fit the profile, and and put it this way, Arne Slot, he's earned the right to get his players. So, I do feel we still get him. I think we're just trying to sort of like get this Alexander Isak deal out of the way. You know what I mean? And that's the most important.
And then all the other pieces will start coming in, start dropping into place. Probably, I agree with you there. Yeah. So, well, it's exciting times. I mean, it really, really is. No two ways about that, and it's just absolutely incredible. I was speaking of Arne Slot, actually, something which no one's mentioning, and it's something which isn't important right now. I do get that, so I don't know why. I'm just bringing it up to just get your opinion on it, really. And that is, do you think at some point this season, probably while the season's going on, do you think we offer Slot a new deal? He's only on a 3-year deal,
It's possible. It's possible. It's not. It's not a ridiculous thought. It's possible because if look what he's done last season, and then if he gets a good start this season, so that he gets a good start, so that for instance, he wins his first 10 games. I mean, in all competition. I mean, like Champions League, and stuff. Through Champions League in there, and through League Cups in there and stuff. Right? He wins his first 10 games or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they wouldn't do this, is it really? Because the thing is about it, what people got to realise that is FSG's project. That's their project. Remember they tried that project before with Brendan Rodgers, and it didn't work out. It didn't work, did it? Even though they changed his backroom staff and gave him 80 million, it still didn't work. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But they got another project now with Arne Slot. Do you know what I mean? Another project now. So I think in the day they're gonna do everything to keep him happy. Do you know what I mean? And he deserves it because look, he's brought the league to us. And I always feel that this is me. This is my opinion on the league and Champions League. I value the league more than what I do the Champions League. I value it more.
Me too. Yeah.
Because remember what the great big Shanky said. He said the league is your bread and butter. It's your bread and butter. I value the league more because I think this is what I feel in the day. There was much more excitement and happiness that we got to number 20. Do you know what I mean? I went
Yeah.
to the parade up in Liverpool that day, right? And it was just amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was there too. Yeah, it was
It was amazing,
amazing.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think to myself, wow, all this, and we, you know, obviously it was just the league that we won. Imagine it today if we won the league and Champions League. Whew,
Whew.
mate,
My
they would
word.
have to lock down Liverpool. They had to literally lock it. That would have been officially on lockdown. Do you know what I mean? Officially. You know what I'm saying? But like, so always sort of like, if Arnie Slot this season can come out with anything this season coming to us now, I would like him to win the league. Just win the league. You know what I mean? Yeah. And whatever comes after, like your Champions League, your FA Cup, your League Cup. You understand what I'm saying? But if
Yeah.
Arnie Slot and they comes out with a league this season, yeah, because you might say it's this season because it's fast upon us. If Arnie Slot comes out with just the league this season, I'll be happy. I will be happy. I'll be happy. I'll say yeah. I will say that's a good season. I will say that's a good
Yeah.
season. You know what I mean? Him retaining the league. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Um, Speaking on that, actually, what do you think our target? I mean, I suppose every season our targets is everything anyway. But do you think that this year's slot is really targeting both the league and the Champions League, and that's why he's bringing in not only the quality of the players, but he's trying to somewhat trying to double us up on every
Yes,
position.
yes, yes.
You know, to have that strength,
He's
isn't he?
trying to put as much quality in the squad as possible. That's what he's trying to do,
Mm.
and I credit him for that. Do you know what I mean? I honestly feel at the day
Mm.
that you're right. The league and the Champions League, I think that's his target for this season coming up. As far as the opponents, I think them two. Obviously, if we it's not put it this way, it's not that we're gonna neglect the FA Cup. We're not gonna neglect the League Cup, but I think the league and the Champions League, that's our priority. Because imagine a day to do the
Mm.
double. You're the best in your league and best in Europe. Do you know what I mean? That's no
Mm.
mean feat.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So I honestly feel
Yeah.
that that's his target, and I think he's proved that he can have at least a good run. I mean, I didn't understand the fact was like we got to the top of our league, yeah. We won the group, that league group, won that group, and then we get PSG, and then people like
Mm.
Aston Villa get Club Brugge. Arsenal get sort of like what's it called, PSV Eindhoven, which they've beaten so many times, but we got PSG.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? That to me at the end of the day, that was kind of like ridiculous. But I honestly feel that
Yeah.
today those two tournaments, he's gonna go ham on those two tournaments. He's really gonna go for it. Do you know what I mean? And if we pick up anything else along the way, so be it. This is why
Mm.
Alexander Isak wants to come to Liverpool, because he knows we're winners. He literally knows
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
winners. Do you know what I mean? And so look, just get over it, man. But
And there's been that theme running through every single player we've bought in, is that they've all said, "I only want Liverpool.
yes,
I only want Liverpool." Even Ekatike, who was in the background there for quite a number of weeks before we got him, he was already saying back right at the beginning of the window, "I just want Liverpool," because I think we'd spoken to him at that point, and he just wanted Liverpool. But other clubs came in for him, but he said, "I want Liverpool. I'm waiting. I'm holding out for
mm, mm,
Liverpool."
mm.
That's what he said.
and that's
Mm.
positive. It's a positive, isn't it? It's only a positive, because like you think about it, like to go on what you said in the day, like when you look at sort of like Frimpong, when he got told of
Yeah.
like Liverpool's interest, the first thing he said,
Mm.
"Get it done. I don't care, just
Mm.
get it done." You know what I'm saying?
Just get it
And
done. Yeah.
that's what's like the importance for him to sort of like be a Liverpool player. Oh,
Mm.
stop that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's just I've connected my WhatsApp to bloody the thing. You know what I mean? To the thing. Let me get back to.
Yeah.
Let me get back to. Yeah. Sorry about
Still,
that.
still got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's that is a dedication. You know what I mean? That the players wanted to come to Liverpool. Wirtz turned down Man City, turned down Bayern Munich
Yeah.
just to come to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Kirkes.
Kirkes was wearing a Liverpool shirt from months before.
I love it. I love it. You know what I mean?
Oh dear, that was
And all
brilliant. That
these
was.
players, Ekatike, he didn't want to go anywhere else but Liverpool. Even the players that we
Yeah.
didn't bother getting wanted to come to Liverpool. Like Ryan Shirky,
Yeah.
he wanted to come to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Come on
Yeah.
now, man. That just says it all, isn't it? You know, and
Yeah.
basically he's gone.
Yeah.
Check this out, right? That's why no Man City guy can tell me anything. Yeah, right? Is that Ryan Shirky went to him like he's a second choice. Man City's second choice, not the first choice. Their second choice, because his first choice was Liverpool Football Club. Do you know what I mean? We had him on standby in case we didn't get Wirtz, yeah, right? We had Ryan Shirky
Yeah.
on standby, bro. You know what I mean? How good is that?
It's bad. It's mad. It's mad. You mentioned earlier there, Frimpong. That boy is going to be a disaster with that pace he's got and everything. In one of the pre-season friendlies, I saw him right down on the wing, and we lost the ball. And I saw him down on the wing. We lost the ball, Frimpong, and he come sprinting back into the midfield. It might have been against. I can't remember the game.
Was it Yokohama?
And he took the ball. He took the ball off the midfielder, and then he turned he turned it back into attack again, because he's got incredible recovery pace. Frimpong, he's going to be amazing. People think he's out of the game when they see him up there. He ain't. He's not out of the game because he can out sprint anyone along them. He's so quick.
See, this
Frimpong.
Is what it was about Frimpong, right? What we want to see in Trent. Yeah, we want to see it in Trent. You may not be the best defender in the world, but if your recovery rate and how you recover the ball is good, you don't have to be the best defender in the world. And the thing is about Trent, he had the pace to do that. I don't know why he didn't do that. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember that game that we had against Man United when we drew 2-2 at Anfield?
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's partly down to Trent. Because when Trent went off in the 82nd minute, right, and they brought Conor Bradley on, Conor Bradley's like, "No, I'm not having none of this. You're not getting past me, mate." And so then what they had to do, they had to switch sides and attack Robertson. Do you know what I mean? And then it's obviously Bradley come over to help as well, help Robertson and that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I remember that game. Trent had an absolute stinker.
Well,
He had some. Yeah, he always seemed to have them against the clubs that you wouldn't expect a local boy to have him against as well. Like Man United, he had another stinker against Everton.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And but the thing is about it, when you look at sort of like someone like Frimpong, when you look at him, he's got excellent recovery rate. Excellent. So people are saying that he's like Oliver Trent. He's not really good at defending. I goes, well, he doesn't have to be. As long as your recovery rate is good, as long as you can recover that ball, do you know what I mean, right? You don't have to be the best defender. Do you know what I mean? And like I saw a few games that day. Obviously, I saw a few games where he played with Leverkusen, and how quick he used to get back was literally unbelievable. He used to play like three at the back, didn't he? He used to play three at the back with 2 10s. Yeah, the way that Frimpong used to go back and recover that ball, and Nkape used to do the same thing. Yeah, right. It was just unbelievable. So I always knew that we was getting a special player, and his recovery. I tell you what, his recovery, right, is going to shock a lot of like Premier League teams this season. I'm telling you. You know what I mean?
It's going to be they're going to get shocked. I'm telling you, really shocked. Because I've seen it already myself, and it's okay. It was a pre-season friendly, but it doesn't matter. You could see just the way he gets back in, and he doesn't even have to be a great tackler or anything. Just take up that position. Once he gets in position, just take up that position, force him into making decisions, and that's if he's in the right position. That's all you want. And so even with that recovery pace, getting back into the position, it's all he needs to do, really, and then the defenders behind that will sort that all out. So yeah. Uncle Rodz, I want to thank you very much for
just 1 second.
Yeah, carry on.
Did you notice that in that game with Bill Bauer that Konate was so used to covering for Trent that he started to cover for Frimpong? And Frimpong was like saying, "What are you doing? I don't need any cover. I don't need it." You know what I mean? Right there. You know what I mean? I'm just looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to it. It's great.
I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. It's wonderful to come on. Perhaps we'll have another stream at some point if we can. With you and Jamie together, it'd be really brilliant. He can unfortunately make it today, but I just want to thank you so much for your time. I admire what you do. I'm going to put your channel in the description for to it if they haven't already, and check you out, because you've got fantastic things going on over there on Uncle Rodz TV. I watch it all the time. It's brilliant. You're getting quite a nice group there together as well. Of people you have on and stuff, and it's you sort of all bounce off each other, and it's good. It's good, really. The Liverpool community is second to none. It's the best out there. It really is. Everyone watches out for everyone, looks after everyone, and we're all there for the same cause, which is Liverpool Football Club. We want the best for it.
I've got a good friend of mine as well called Fuzzy. That I'll put you in contact with. That you would love to get him on his show, because he's like me. We just talk about football, and he's supported Liverpool for years. Do you know what I mean? Lovely guy. I'll put you in contact with him because he's
do that. Do that. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Any time that you need me to come on your show, as long as I'm free, I'm there. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Text me and say, look, I've got this going on. Blah 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 blah. Are you free? And I will tell you yes or no. If I'm free, I'm there, bro. You don't have to ask any questions. I'm there, because listen, and Dave, I have got this situation, and Dave's like, with me, if I rise, I'm bringing everybody with me. Simple as that. That's what I do. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you ever need me to come on your show, right? Listen, I'll say 99.9% of the time I'm more likely to be available, and I'm on it. I'm on it, bro.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you bringing him on your show and bringing him into your community. I appreciate it 100%. And listen, bro, anytime you need me, I'm there. I'm there, bro.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a small community at the moment, and I'm just starting to get into that thing of doing more and more shows and everything. As you know, I'm big friends with Cal, so he's behind the scenes helping me out a lot as well. And I hope to do a few collabs with him, and just taking advice from people, because at the end of the day, there's people out there been doing it a lot longer than I have. They know more about it, and all I want is just to build a community, really, of just people that. And I hope in the future to do some stuff on the history of the club as well, because it's obviously Shankly's boot room, so it's that got a focus always going back to the sort of what I classify as the beginning of Liverpool when Shankly came in. And no, it's not historically the beginning, but that's when we really become a club, I think, really a serious club. And so I'd be love to do that. And I know Cal is also thinking about one or two things, like with myself and you actually, and looking at the history of the club and all that kind of thing, and doing some comparisons between the modern teams and the teams back then, and that kind of thing. So that'd be great. Yeah. So anyway, so thanks for coming along, and so guys, please do like and subscribe if you come across this. I'm going to obviously put it up on the channel, so it'll be up on there if you do come across it at a later date. If he was in the chat, thank you so much for coming in and joining us. Big up to N90. Thank you so much for coming in as well. Do appreciate it, all your support and everything. Head on over to Uncle Rodz. I'm gonna put his channel in the description. So that if you come across this, if you're not come across Uncle Rodz before, you can go along and check him out and check out his excellent channel as well. Anyway, that leaves us with to say goodnight. Big up. You never walk alone, and I'll catch you on the next stream.
Take care. Peace.
So, thank you. Yeah. There we go.